Welcome back to another video. I thought I'd start this one a little differently. My wife's an amazing photographer and she loves this view and the rear view mirror as we go along the countryside. And I think it's wonderful to just show Otis how he's pulling along very nicely. There's our buddy Kevin and his boys back behind us as we travel around and see this amazing country. So I'll fill you in with a little bit more video about our travels so far and how things are going.
Okay, so here we are out using Otis for the first time, first trip. We actually have already gone about 2,500 miles. We've been camping for about a week and a half. So far, so good. No major problems. Of course, some minor issues, but nothing major. We realized, we wanted to add a little mirror here and there. I don't know if we had the video done of the door, but we got the door in place kind of right at the last minute. That works well. We just use residential weather stripping and everything around here seals up nice and tight. Between our Max Air fan and our windows have just been awesome airflow. We've even slept some nights when it was pretty warm, and with good airflow we really haven't had an issue with being too hot. As you can see, haven't finished the inside yet. That will be coming. The bathroom, toilet, shower, everything is working fantastic. We actually really enjoy the skylight. So you get natural light in there, but also when you're standing up there, you can just kind of see out into the trees and everything. I think we made obviously some challenging decisions, but some good decisions. One of the best decisions we made was the skylight or the Arctic Tern window directly over the bed. So the first night we laid down, stars in the sky, we looked up out of our bed, saw the stars in the sky. Really cool. The sink as we designed has worked pretty darn well, I think. My wife can confirm or deny that. I think she's confirming this has worked pretty well. We got some little things for IKEA. She cuts paper towel rolls in half, has for a few summers, which work fantastic. Sink actually just works great. Water heater's working great. The fridge on our slide, we're gonna bolt it down, so we'll show you that when we do that. But everything here has worked great. You can see one little issue we had was we went to use the stove the first day and I didn't have time to finish everything before we left, so we went to turn the stove on. The stove wouldn't turn on. Realized it has a 12-volt solenoid on the back as a safety feature, which is really good, but it wouldn't come on until I ran 12-volt power to it, and I had put that off. So we quickly, at our first campsite, I put the fuse panel right in here where I could get to it. So I went and got some wire from the local Walmart, ran some wire, fused that up. So that allowed us to use the stove now. So oftentimes we've been using the stove like this so it doesn't stick out quite as far, but we can pull it out in and out really easy to get to the fridge. Everything as far as solar and everything is working great. I think we showed this, but I'll show this just in case we haven't. Finished. So we've got 2 deep cycle batteries in here and our solar controller on this side. Oh, another little issue we had, now that I think about it, was that when the pump would turn on, because it's a motor load, it was drawing a lot of power. And so the solar controller was actually dipping down below 12 volts. It was unhappy, or drawing more than 10 amps and kicking everything out. The lights would beep. So I bypassed that. So now you can see the pump is wired directly to the batteries. The only downside is that I can't monitor how much power consumption we're using from the pump, but that's a relatively minor issue that we're not really worrying about. So this has been traveling just fine. We do shut the propane off when we're traveling. This Kurt brake controller that we're using that is Bluetooth with the phone has worked fantastic. I've actually tried it manual a few times. Literally just very, very simple to use. I'm ecstatic. I'm so pleased with the Max coupler. I can't say enough about those people and the quality product they made there. Just really great stuff. Over here, I think we got a shot of this before, but maybe in case we didn't, here it is. It's been a long time. We kind of hammered at the end there and didn't do our maybe a last video. So our Camp Lux, I got 2 11-pound propane tanks in here. I did have to turn the water flow from max down to minimum because it really wasn't kicking on in time, and I found out I just was asking it to provide too much water flow. So you can see we haven't put any vents out of this case yet. So when we use that, we just open these vents so the air can freely circulate around. Eventually there'll be a divider in there between the propane and the batteries, but for right now, nothing's sealed up tight. We leave it all open whenever we use it. So not really an issue. This storage compartment has worked great for the different hoses and things. We've actually used the black tank, the gray tank, the washer that I put on the black tank. We heard it spinning and it flushed everything out. I won't get into that, but it's pretty gross. But that washer definitely does help. There. We used this shower, we kayaked, and we don't want to have invasive species anywhere, so we ran our exterior shower out here and we rinsed off. My wife actually scrubbed down the kayak with soap and water, which was great. So we don't want to be responsible for causing any problems with invasive species. The hose storage, obviously right here, everything like this is just, it's been working. So we've been very pleased with that. The vent that we put in, both the vent for the freshwater tank and the vent for the black and the gray tank, are so low profile. I just like, it makes me happy with this low profile stuff. The little LED lights have been working great. They're very visible. We've been traveling with a friend, so he has said, and I'll put the link for these in the description, but these lights, these LED lights are super bright, he has said. So we like that. We like very bright lights. We got into a couple places at night where the 4 backup lights really helped out as well. So if you are building a trailer and you can't see too terribly well, or even if you can, the backup lights are never going to hurt you. It's a little extra wiring, but no big deal. The tail and brake lights, we wanted bright lights, and our buddy that we're traveling with says they are really bright. The last thing I want to do is somebody to rear end us and destroy all of our really hard work. So we put nice bright lights on the back. So I think that's kind of the walk around right now. Again, it's been riding really nice. The Timbren suspension has been working awesome. We've had up to 400 pounds of water in the freshwater tank with no issues whatsoever. I've had him watch as we come around corners and things like that. And honestly, we corner about as fast as I normally would driving the car anyway. So it's nice when you spend a year designing something and it actually works. That has not always been the case in my life, but this is working. My buddy and I are ham radio operators, and so we're talking about potentially putting a ham radio antenna mount somewhere on here with a mast that would come up about 20 feet. So as kids are off doing their thing, this can kind of be a base station. We can reach out a little bit further. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. So far, so good, and we'll keep you posted on the adventures. So far, we've been in California, Oregon, Montana, Idaho, and circling our way back, and then we're going to head up to Washington and see how it does in the Pacific Northwest. Hopefully we'll get some rain so we can see how it does in the rain. We'll keep you posted. Send us your questions.